After extensive research, the team here at Cosmo have pulled together an extended video which shows the range of co-living and working communities and settings, from VIP membership schemes, student accommodation, and low-income cooperatives, and everything in between.
Co-living is a way of living focused on a genuine sense of community, using shared spaces and facilities to create a more convenient and fulfilling lifestyle.
Located on Jalan Pantai Batu Belong in Canggu, the Bali edition of Outsite features 5 traditional Javanese bungalows surrounding a pool with daybeds for chilling out or getting some work done. As you enter the building, you'll find a few tables for having meals or setting up for work, and if you follow the stairs, a second-floor patio for chilling out and staring out into the rice fields.
Hi, and welcome to Beta House. Today, I'm gonna show you our community-driven co-working and event spaces. Welcome to our Club Lounge. This is the heart of our community. This is where every member and guest are welcome for co-working. Breakout, with a total of 154 square meters, this, as the name already suggests, this is the ultimate breakout area with 3 partition rooms and a main area that has seats for up to 40 people. Hideout, our biggest space with 321 square meters of space. Its versatile nature can accommodate anything from conferences to fashion shows with a capacity of 200 people. Our community offers various events from networking, sharing skills and knowledge, and also spreading good vibes. But most importantly, our community knows how to make the best out of every single space we offer in the most creative way.
We are in the midst of a global loneliness epidemic, both in terms of its pervasiveness and its severity. In the US, half of us say that we feel lonely sometimes or always. And in my culture, the aging population faces increased isolation, so it may not surprise you to hear that 46% of adults over 65 say that they feel lonely on a regular basis. And what's scary is that Gen Z is showing even higher rates of loneliness than the 65 and up crowd. My dream is of a city where sprawling lawns and multi-car garages no longer sit empty while thousands of our neighbors live without homes. Where instead, those spare garages and basements are converted into homes for friends, family members, tenants, so that we can increase housing density and avoid the displacement caused by rising home values.
A new experiment in the housing market is taking off fast, and one startup is taking it to the next level.
Good morning, Dom. Co-living is one of the fastest growing segments of residential real estate, with already more than $2 billion in investor capital behind it. Most of the new companies, though, involved offer shared spaces in apartment buildings. But one startup, barely 3 years old, is taking the idea to big suburban homes, and it appears to be working.
Alex Redding and Abby Sanka were complete strangers when they first toured this house over a year ago. But they promptly moved in together, along with 3 other strangers. They found the home through a startup called Bungalow, which rents rooms out in single-family homes. They work with landlords, renovating the homes and furnishing the kitchens and common rooms. Each renter is on a separate room contract, and the sum of those rents is more than the average rent on the whole home. Last fall, the company announced $47 million in new funding, bringing total funds to $68 million. Collins expects that will help them scale to more than 12,000 residents by the end of this year.
Everyone in New York is super lonely. That may be why communal living is having a moment. More and more people are passing up studio apartments to live in group housing, sometimes paying more to do so. One company in Williamsburg, known as Pure House, brands itself as an intentional living community.
We're in a former old doll factory. It's been turned into a bunch of artist lofts.
For New Yorkers whose identities have been swallowed up by the vast nothingness of the city, Pure House promises to focus on curating distinct groups of people and their passions.
Communal living has been going on for centuries. So on the We Live side, we're talking about what I think of as kind of like condo living 2.0, but there isn't any kind of a operating system. And then on the other end of the spectrum, you have intentional communities, the kinds of things that are referred to as communes. Things like Pure House tend to be more in the middle.
Rooms at Pure House range between $1,500 and $1,800 and include occasional meals, yoga, and massages. By comparison, the more corporate communal housing at We Live in Lower Manhattan runs about $1,700 with no massages. So it seems like the key to a good communal living experience is diversity. And of course, you want to make sure you're not joining a cult.
This is the sustainable city.
This is the sustainable city, and we regard it as our goal is to have a net zero energy development. So everything you see, first of all, the principal design elements is to reduce the energy intensity of the city. Yeah, these are the water features.
Right.
This is actually grey water, and this comes out of our wash basin. This is water from the showers and the washing machine, and we actually treat it. We separate the water which enters the city into two streams. So we have black water and grey water.
Right.
So what you just saw is the grey water that is treated, and we treat it here in site or on site in the community, and you will see that in a bit. And then we pump it up through that stream, and we have these storage ponds. And all along this farm, we're now driving through the farm, which runs the length of the city. We tap into the grey water system to irrigate the landscape, and we also use the grey water to keep these pads, if you can see those streaks, those streak marks, those pads, we keep them moist with treated grey water, and those are pads that we utilize to cool the biodomes.
Right.
So they actually provide fresh air into the biodomes. All the cars are assembled, so we wanted to keep the cars away from the clusters, which means when we drove through a cluster, it is completely car-free.
Right.
So far we've installed 26,000. And of those 10 megawatt, 3 megawatt come from the parking areas.
Yeah.
This feeds into the grid because we are grid connected, and then we tap from the grid. We take it back to supply energy in different sections of the city.
Right.
All the services, the cooling pads, the farm, the street lights, the water features, all of that is actually utilizing electricity from the car parks. I don't think many people believed in this concept and the design. That was post-financial crisis, global financial crisis. Things have really picked up, and now when you demonstrate what we've done so far in phase one, I think it's becoming more and more obvious that this is doable, and it is not more expensive. Apples to apples, oranges to oranges. So this is a myth, and when you design sustainably from the start, and you also capture the latest technology or the latest features from the market, then it's not more expensive.
Right.
Here at Cosmo, we're working with a range of organisations, both large and small, to help them figure out the best co-living and working solution for them, reviewing their portfolio of assets for adaptive reuse during this pandemic time and into the future. The goals of which is to encourage social interaction and creativity. It should attract and retain a diverse and fulfilled workforce into the future. It should reduce waste, better utilise resources to sustain the environment, and in the future will offer competitive advantage to organisations who start to lead in this space and allow them to grow financial opportunity. If this is of interest to you, please get in touch with us here at Cosmo Consulting.